Introduce. This guy doesn't need any introduction, honestly. But you're gonna come here anyway.
Sure.
Okay? Oleg MaryAces, okay? This dapper man, okay, you're gonna come this way.
Thank you.
And you are gonna stand right here next to me.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy is also been with us since our first event on 12/20.
Sure.
And we are so grateful. And he is with Lock Key Remedies. We actually met at another a tech event, innovation event called Propellify. Little did we know we'd be here a year later or more together, but here we are. And he can tell you a lot when you go back to his table, but what he's going to focus on tonight is talking about the terpenes that are part of the plant.
Yes.
So, Oleg, and you feel free to tell a little bit of your journey, exactly on how you got to Lock Key.
Fantastic.
And why that matters.
Awesome, awesome.
You're the best.
You as well. Thank you so much for coming out tonight and for trying to learn something new about cannabis today. So a little bit about myself. My name is Oleg. I came from Brooklyn. Ran a little bit late in a lot of traffic. So I got into the cannabis industry 8 years ago. I started manufacturing vaporizers, first in China, then in the United States. About almost 6 years ago, I was embedded with a medical cannabis radio station, and
excuse me one second. I'm just going to get this chair, okay? And I'm going to move it over there. Okay, go ahead. So sorry.
No worries. So I got to experience for about 6 days. I got to experience on this medical radio station. It was a bus, and there was a convention, the largest convention at the time, cannabis convention, and I got to hear one after the other stories of people how cannabis saved their life from a very wide range of conditions. People with soldiers with PTSD who were losing their friends to suicide. There were children with tumors whose parents were giving them cannabis and tumors were shrinking. There were people who were on oxycodone and fentanyl and things like that and illegal drugs, and they came off cannabis. So at the time I was on anxiety and depression meds for 15 years, and I consumed about 30 pounds of those between age 15 to 30. And I realized that, hearing all these stories, I'm like, I don't have any serious condition like any of these people. So I'm like, why am I taking pharmaceuticals when these people came off pharmaceuticals or not using pharmaceuticals? So that was my inspiration to move my focus from the hardware, which is the vaporizers themselves, to the active ingredients, and that's when I started looking into CBD, other cannabinoids, and terpenes, and that's what I'm here to chat about today. So terpenes to me is really the most fascinating part. I feel like I'm obsessed with the terpenes, and when I started looking into the research of that, the reason why I got obsessed with it is because all plants have terpenes, so it's something that's universal in all plants. It's something that you could tell by the scent. So, for example, oregano, parsley, basil. When you smell that, you're smelling the terpenes. So it's something that's by no means exclusive to cannabis. All plants have it. So at that point, looking more and more into it, I started to see that the difference is just ratios. It's how, basil has more this terpene, and black pepper, for example, is known for beta-caryophyllene, which is predominant in cannabis and in other plants as well, but parsley has a lot of it, and rosemary has it. And that terpene, for example, is known for its anti-inflammatory properties. It fits perfectly into one of the most studied cannabis receptors, the CB2 receptor, and I can show you the diagram upstairs so you get a little bit more of an idea of how that works. But the beta-caryophyllene, for example, is both cannabinoid and terpene because it fits into that system. But they work synergistically together to achieve different types of results. So and that's what makes them important in cannabis. In cannabis, you may hear there's different strains. There's strain names for example, Blue Dream, Girl Scout cookies, there's unlimited sort of varieties of names. And the real difference between these strains are the terpenes. So the THC amount, which is the component that gets you high, or the CBD amount in the case of any CBD products, those are singular molecules. So they do what they do, and we could go into what each one of those does. But it is the terpenes that regulate the effects as far as how you feel. For example, there's certain terpenes that are calming, there's certain terpenes that give you focus, there's certain terpenes that give you energy. So those effects are the differences in the strains. That's why people, again, name these strains differently. And some of them are called sativa, some of them are called indica. But in reality, those are just made up words. They're not. You could use them as reference, but they don't really mean much. What it really means is like what are these combinations of these terpenes, and then that's what's really going to impact how you feel. That's really going to impact whether you're going to feel calm or happy or combinations of these. So that's why it's important to know them. Upstairs I have a lot of the research that I've compiled over the years, that besides the mood effects or conditions that you feel calming or energy wise, these terpenes have anti-inflammatory properties, anti-cancerous properties. It depends really what you're looking for. So it comes back to personalized medicine, and that's where the future is going to be going to. And utilizing plants for this personalized medicine is what really gets me excited. That's because again, you don't need pharmaceuticals for everything needs a lot more research. So I don't want to make any claims, but looking forward and looking at the research that already exists, it's very promising. There's these plants, not just cannabis, but all plants, seem to have these molecules that really help our bodies function properly. And again, that's what gets me excited. So I welcome you to come up and ask me any questions about specifics on what could help with whatever. But it will be more based on you. It will be based on what effect you're looking to have, what condition you have, and then based on that, there could be some potential recommendations of what this is more likely to help you. This is more likely to help you. That kind of a thing.
And I told you I use CBD every day. Well, one of the CBD products I use every day is Lock Key Remedies and their oils. And I will tell you, for me, it's mostly about stress and anxiety. I do use our next presenter's topical for me. Where did my heart go? My topical for pain. And other touch points, but all of the brands upstairs have a variety of delivery methods, but I am learning every day something new, and I encourage you all to learn something new every day, and especially about this plant. And Oleg has become a trusted source and someone who's really committed and dedicated to elevate the knowledge that we all have. So I thank you so much for being part of Kind of Pop-Up.
Pleasure, honor to be here.
And I encourage you to all go talk to him later after these talks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.